objetivo del webinar, bla, bla, bla. Te doy paso, como lo hicimos la anterior.
Sí.
Y mi pregunta es, ¿cómo quieres enfocarlo? Como la vez anterior, que la gente tú preguntas y la gente participe.
Sí.
¿No? Okidoki. Y entonces tienes una hora para presentar. No hacemos una round table, ¿no? No tiene caso preguntas, sino que...
No, porque las preguntas y respuestas están dentro y yo creo que al
Correcto.
final, déjame ver al final si he puesto, sí, yo creo que al final siempre hay, bueno, ¿quién tiene preguntas? No en general, pero es como la otra vez que es así más interactivo porque así la gente aprende de unos de otros.
Me gusta. Me gusta la idea. Voy a dar a que la gente vaya entrando para que no se nos pongan nerviosos. Y luego ya hacemos las presentaciones.
Vale, ¿estás grabando ya?
De momento no, estoy conectando YouTube Live.
Vale.
Ya estamos en YouTube Live, que eso es eso, bien.
Y es en inglés, todo en inglés, toda la gente habla en inglés.
Sí, es bueno, ¿no? También es bueno que te escuchen en castellano, porque hay muchas cosas que no se saben. Que yo, no sé, créeme que en Latinoamérica, estas cosas, sinceramente, yo no lo veo. Yo no creo que lleguen en Latinoamérica, te soy honesto. Más allá del tema de innovación, las empresas de siempre, los mensajes de siempre.
Sí.
¿Sabes? Hace unos años, unos 20 años, estaba el Business Angel y, ¿no? Para los investment y luego le han dado, son las mismas personas. Las he visto, yo he ido a estos eventos y son los mismos. Lo que pasa es que ya se cambian los nombres. Ahora ya no sé qué son. No lo critico, simplemente que no hay nada nuevo hasta que vemos cosas como las tuyas. Por eso me llamó la atención. Cuando hay cosas para uno que está en todos los moles, en todos los chiles, todas las salsas, como suele decirse, y ves algo que sí es diferente, innovador, disruptor, dices, aquí sí, que rompe moldes.
Exacto, sí.
Así
Cuando la conversación es diferente, que es lo más interesante, ¿sabes? Le das el otro ángulo.
Para mí sí. ¿Puedes poner en modo presentación, please? En lo
Sí.
que dejamos y hacemos un par de minutos de cortesía para nuestros amigos y colegas. Bueno, lo dejamos así, vamos a ver. Hi, everyone. Most welcome. Thank you very much for coming. Just a couple minutes for starting, okay? And thank you very much, all of you. Thank you. In a couple minutes, we will start. Thank you. If you, hello, guys. If you can put your micro on mute, please. Thank you. Okie dokie. I think we are ready. Hara, my dear, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okie dokie. So let's going to start. 5, 3, 2. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, all around the world. Thank you very much for coming. Another webinar series, The Magic of the PMO, La Magia de la PMO. Thank you for joining us. again in a new session of wonderful topics, a wonderful colleagues of the profession that every week they come in for sharing his experiences, his thoughts, his knowledge, and among many other things, obviously. But we are trying to share a different thematics, a different topics, a different point of view as the usual. No, in this case, from my point of view, Jara Pascual. She's the founder and CEO of the Collab with. I think she's one of these persons with an disruptive idea, disruptive business concept. It's not only about innovation itself, it's about everything she is working on from a few years ago. But she is going to explain us later, no, what is it about Collab with marketplace and a wonderful portal. But before that, she's going to share us the PMO as the key to success for adoption of innovation. Any PMO, I think, should have a little piece of innovation. No, when we are talking about innovation, it's not only a products or services as well. It's about a way of mind to constantly innovate when we are doing we are leading a PMO, no, a global portfolio or a global program of projects and or products. No, remember that we are calling a PMO including projects in the waterfall way and a products in an agile framework and an agile mindset. Okay, so Jara, thank you very much for coming again. This is you all always. You are most welcome in this session in English. No, in the past time you sharing with us in Spanish because I believe in Latin America more than any other place around the globe. These kind of topics, I don't think there really exists. More than the usual, no, as like investors, business angels, this kind of organization that they are talking about innovation, or the big companies that obviously they have the enough money, enough resources to invest about these topics, innovation and PMO together. So, Jara, thank you very much for coming again, and thank you from
Thank
all
you,
our
Leo.
global community PMOs.
Thank you for inviting me, and as well, thank you because I think I was believing always like PMO has a role there in innovation success. And looking at your community and everything you are doing, it was like, why not we add this importance of innovation and this link and this relationship to how PMO has the power to drive innovation. And it's not like you take over the job of the innovation team. It's like how together you can make this happen. Because innovation team is not PMO. You know, they are not experts in project management at all, and they are not owning the product ownership, you know, like how we define product ownership. And sometimes they are aside of the organization, the innovation team, sometimes the PMO is aside, you know, and how all this game of influence is happening. So we will touch all these points, and I hope you will enjoy it. As Leo said, I am the founder and CEO of Collab With, and Collab With is a platform to digitalize and structure collaboration for innovation between startups, academics, corporates, consultants, tech transfer offices from universities and academics, all this kind of, we can say, 360 dimension of collaboration. You can find them there as a directory, and all the profile and everything is super structured and designed to collaborate and to make business together. And in the marketplace, you can find the collaboration opportunities. The technology is available for you to buy and to collaborate as a project, but as well, you can find funding calls, open calls for procurement processes of innovation, and as well accelerators programs. So everything related to innovation and how to innovate. And I am doing this because I have 15 years experience of innovation in R&D lab, but as well in consulting and inside corporates doing driving innovation inside, and now entrepreneurship. So I am board member of the Forum of Innovation in the European Parliament, and there we are shaping the policies of innovation and how the innovation agenda in Europe. So, so I present myself. So I am telecom engineer as well as a background, and I have an MBA. And next month is coming the book of innovation and collaboration in the digital era. So I think 3 weeks to go to be published. And I am hosting the podcast of Business of Collaboration. So talking about the stories of innovation and how the people collaborate. So the agenda for today, we are talking very clearly what is innovation. So then the intersection between innovation and PMO. We are discussing about the needs for innovation and how the PMO has a lot of relationship with the discovering of the needs. Then we are talking about leadership because it's the way we can do things or we cannot do things. And then how emotional intelligence, they can help you to innovate, but as well to become the leader. You bring always the people together to have a common understanding, to work together. And this workshop will be super interactive. So after every theory or every slide I am explaining a concept, we will have a question for you. Because I think and I believe we can learn much better from each other and going step by step in the storyline, because these are very new concepts. So it's better to go step by step to get the knowledge inside you, to make this transformation in your mindset. So my first question for you, do you know, and it's like yes or no, like as a PMO, project manager or product owner, do you know your innovation team? So you can do it in the chat or you can talk to say yes, no, yes, no. Not really. Yeah, voila, here we go. Now on my side, voila. I think my husband is a product owner now, some months ago, 6 months now. And the first thing he's not in touch of the innovation team at all. And it's like, there is a team there? Yes, I think so. Yeah, contact them. But he's a lot with the R&D department, not too much with innovation, which is another story. But I think that's one of the things, like go to your organization. There is a team there somewhere doing innovation. So this is maybe the homework for you for tomorrow. Or now you email them and say, hi, how are you? We can make a cup of tea. Okay, now it's 100% of the answers is no. Okay, we go. So what is innovation? Innovation is creating value through creativity. And this definition is super cool because it's super flexible. You can define by yourself what is value for you. What is value, impact? How do you define the value. And then through creativity means like new ideas, you know, like new ways of doing things, new ways of working, like this kind of new, you know, this uniqueness. And new is not like invention, you know, it's how you bring value to the society and to your industry, your teams, your services you provide, your products in a completely different way, but you have to provide value. And this is the part of innovation. Innovation is when something exists in the market, when you bring something like people can use, because it's when this adoption is happening, is when you bring value. This is very important because sometimes innovation mixes up with ideation, ideas, and ideas are ideas, or invention. Invention is when you create something new and it's only possible in the lab, you know, when you invent. And invent is like something you invent is there. Innovation is when this invention you are bringing to the market. You know, like people are using it. To know from your organization perspective, what is the role of the PMO and how will you define the PMO? And this is depending always on your organization. If you have PMO in every department, or every department is doing whatever they want to do, or everything is super structured and organized in C-level perspective, and there is only one PMO office, or, you know, how do you define PMO inside your organization? You can put in the chat or you can talk if you want to express yourself. This question is very important for me for the leadership part and how to crossroad and interlink PMO with innovation. And as well for your strategy, you know, how to talk to the innovation team. Here one, Guillermo Salazar from Nicaragua. Hola, hola, hola. So Guillermo, what is your role of the PMO and how will you define the PMO in your organization?
I am project manager the PMO in the National University of Engineering.
Very nice, in the university, cool.
Yeah, in the university, it's the public university.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is very important. For instance, always there is this kind of dilemma when you are doing collaborations, you know, industry with university. There is a dilemma: who has to do the project management, you know, of the collaboration? And myself, I prefer like the university has the ownership, or either the corporate has the ownership of the whole project management. Like there is not a middleman, you know, doing the project management, because this is really one of the issues of this collaboration industry academia. Like they have to be responsible, all of them, both of what they are doing and how they are doing. And they have to communicate very easily between they both. This is a very specific case of the collaboration. So we have Rafael Teretki, role support PMs, steer processes of PM. So you have a PMO office in general, and you are helping with all the infrastructure and documentation and support to the, we can say, satellite PMOs or project managers in the departments. And Marta is saying, like in my company, there are some PMOs to manage specific programs or similar projects. Yeah, like you can have PMO for workplace, you know, like all related IT PMOs or all related HR or something. PMO is a global IT PMO. Matthew is saying, it's a global IT PMO to manage project portfolio and provide a PM framework to deliver all the tech projects. Yeah. Matthew, do you have an innovation team in IT or someone doing innovation in IT?
Yes, we do have some people, I would say, developing solutions for us. And this is maybe the way I would define innovation within our IT department.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was doing IT innovation. Very good. Okay, you have, I think, here at the Department of Telecom Innovation. Very good. So it's like we can sum up, because in the audience you have both. One is more in generic, overseeing everything, and then others more into hands-on in the department. Okay, so here is the innovation and how everything has to be interlinked. The PMO has to know what the innovation team is doing as a prototype and which kind of project they will impact, or if they are creating new things, the PMO has to take care of. And as well, the executive team. The executive team needs to know what is doing PMO, but as well, in the same time, the innovation team. And here is the value the PMO can bring to the executive team, to know what innovation is doing. Sometimes the innovation team has access to executives, sometimes no. So that's depending on the type of organization. The same is happening with the PMO. So here is like, if you share knowledge and information, much better for everyone, you know? And if you are aligned and together talking about what you are doing, much better. Why? Because usually the innovation team always is isolated for the rest of the organization, depending how the leadership is established. And they can create things. Sometimes they are aligned, sometimes they is not aligned. But when they have prototypes and the prototypes are selected for implementation, who has to implement? So the project at the end is going to the PMO, but the PMO has to forecast this is coming for them. And as well, in the other way around, the innovation team usually they have not these capabilities of project management. And this is one of the things the PMO has to know: how many prototypes, how many collaboration projects the innovation team is doing, you know, how it's going, how many they are selected, and as well if they are aligned with the project they are doing, you know, if they are bringing value, and as well help them to transfer knowledge and technology, how you can drive the project portfolio of all the prototypes inside the innovation team, you know, how you can share your tools to the innovation team as well, because they have to track as well this information. And why to use another program, you know, to track this information if you have already in the PMO one is working. So this is very, 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 very important. So how both in many directions you can help each other. In case of product ownership or product management, the innovation team is doing innovation maybe affects the product. You know, if the product owner is looking at the consultants, at the sales, and getting all the information about the needs for the product, and this information is not transferred to the innovation team, they cannot innovate in the right direction, in the direction the product needs to be. So here it has to be super mega aligned. And as well in the part of maybe the innovation team, they are more in contact with trends, scouting, startups, things are happening there, and this information is very useful for the product owners. So it has to be some kind of alignment with all of this and helping each other. Like the organization is, usually there are a lot of silos. And one of the things you can do to break the silos is to put people together in a coffee, and as well to share the information, to say, okay, we have these tools, you can use it. We are doing this. I know you are doing this as well. So why not to have a once per month meeting, like you present us what you are doing, what do you need, where are your starters, how we can help you, and the same way around. And this, I think this is a very useful way to break silos, but as well to create this kind of correlation and relationship, like it's much needed. So here, like in a summary, if the innovation team is focused on future, in the need to innovate, look at all the processes and everything, doing prototypes and working with the strategy for the new things coming into, like redo the workplace of the future, or how we are going to improve the data centers, All this information is very useful for the PMO, and the PMO has this customer feedback, the employee satisfaction as well, all these surveys, the execution. You drive the future hand somehow as well for the product owner perspective. So if you share all this information between you, it's very important, and as well if there is alignment with the executive team. Because it's no way like a bank is doing cafes, There has to be an alignment of what is the strategy and the future of the organization. And this could be one of the tasks of the PMO as well, to help them to translate this vision from the executive to, okay, this is the lines, let me help you because we are working on this, and you have all the overview of all the projects for the organization. So very typical case, this is the process of the front end of innovation management. So how the innovation team, very classic, the typical traditional way of working. So they have this process of, you have out of ideas and you can get this in an idea forum, in a crowdsourcing, you can get ideas in a brainstorming, whatever. And then you select some of these ideas, you make some prototypes, you evaluate, and there is some of them they are going to implementation. So like I mentioned before, you can help the innovation team on project management for prototypes, but as well from product management perspective to know, okay, what are the things that are fitting to our product and which ones not, and as well, which ones we have already tried and it's not working, you are part of expertise to select ideas and select prototypes. So you have to be there in the meetings. And at the end, when it is the implementation, the PMO ensure the implementation. The innovation team is not there. So it's very important as well if the innovation team is looking at the implementation, if still the innovation is there during the implementation. Because could be like, yeah, we have to do this. I am doing this. And I forget, like there is a special thing, like make this unique or new. So the innovation team has to ensure, like, when you develop something, it's still the requirements from the user, from the design, all the specifications. Then the PMO is very good to help to adopt. So for product management perspective or product, you can help to this new adopt to the product. Because if you make the decision as a product owner, yes, this feature, no, this feature, like this functionality, yes, this functionality, no. So I think this is very, you have the power to make your product or your service or your process innovative. So you have to think about this when talking with the innovation team, which kind of selection of ideas or prototypes or functionalities you are making. And as well, the legacy, because the legacy means in 5 years, still the product will be relevant because it's innovative to the market. So, it's not too old or too traditional. A step is going. And as well, because in the product owner and product management, you have this point of, all the documentation, all the training, and this is part of the legacy. It's staying there, and innovation usually is not doing this. So as well, when you talk to the innovation team, you can think, okay, please document something before going to implementation, because this is very useful for us when you do all the wiki, updates of the wiki, all the trainings, all the presentations, all the slides for the new product, how you do the product, etc. So another process is super interesting, how PMO is super critical in innovation, is when you are doing innovation procurement. Yeah, another super new thing. So innovation procurement means like the procurement team and department is buying innovative solutions. And this is not like I buy a company. No, I buy solutions from an innovative company. So I buy products from startups or from SMEs or from other universities. I buy a solution I put in my company. So this process is a bit special for innovation because, of course, you have not, as a startup, the startup has not all the ISOs, you know, ISO 9001, ISO 40,000, you know, like the typical things in procurement. Or they have not 20 years experience with this, 20,000 customers, you know, that's not the typical case for a startup. So you have to adapt the process of procurement in many other ways. Here, the innovation team is working with the procurement team. But surprise, procurement is only responsible for scouting, selecting, buying the solution, and that's all. So who is coming later for the success of the purchase of the innovation or innovative solution? PMO. And this is not always the case. That's why I am saying this this is super important. And that's why this slide is here. And this is another role you have as a key success factor to adopt innovation. Because in this case, the procurement process will send this, I don't know, HR new solution for onboarding process, like more digital. So the HR, okay, I got this. But maybe I got this is not like plug and play. I mean, you need like an integration process, maybe. You need a training process, you know, like a little bit of change management. Who is doing this? Is planned when you purchase this? Maybe no. It's innovation. So there is a change there anyhow. So PMO can help to this implementation to make sure the follow-up, to keep the legacy, to ensure training, to ensure the whole communication is going, and helping the startup and maybe the research department at university to make this a success. And this is not a joke. There is this is one of the problems. There is not follow-up after the purchase. And this is where the innovation, if you succeed to buy innovative solutions, can drop off completely and lose the whole value of the purchase. So that's very important as well. Here, the PMO is working with the procurement department to ensure like, we are here, we are going to make this implementation successful. But as well, like they are talking to the innovation team to say, we are doing this in the right way. So the adoption, how they are using the new app, you know, or the new tool to onboard people digitally is working. So question for you, and I think now after a lot of slides with processes, ideas, you have a lot of questions, a lot of experiences to share. So what is the current situation of your relationship between PMO and the innovation team? Like now you know what you can do together. So you can just chat, you can talk. No relationship. Very good. Very honest, open and direct. Almost null. Okay, so here with these people we say no, nothing at all, like catastrophe. Knowing now all of this, how you can be involved and how you can help each other. Okay, Matthew, Leo, Eden, what you can do tomorrow?
Fortunately, Jara, many companies have not an innovation area, more than usual. I mean, in my case, no, in my own personal experience, when I'm talking, I'm visiting customers or talking with customers, no, I'm talking about a PMO or something like this. The innovation team is misunderstood like a technical teams, no, for producing or for creating a new products, a new devices, but it's not exactly innovation. They are um, from the same base, from the same devices, from the same technology, or from the same concept. They are able created a new products, a new releases, a new a new upgrades, no, depending of the if there are physical devices or are products, no, digital products or softwares or similar, but it's not really innovation. Yes, they are only creating on time, but under your your previous concept, your previous explication is not exactly innovation. Yeah, that is very sad because only in with the explosion, no, the phenomenon of the digital transformation, but it's more marketing than the real solutions from the innovation concept or from innovation teams. Because when we are talking about digital transformation, yes, this is a disruptive thing, but this is other concept, not because it's misunderstood as well, because when you digitalize something, it's not exactly digital transformation, but this is the misunderstanding of the concepts, no. That's why it's very important when people in real experience is sharing the I think the most acquire or the most exactly concepts definition about one topic, no, in this case innovation.
Yeah, there is several super interesting comments here in the chat. I want to go there really. So there is Erin saying like innovation team assures the new everything. Like innovation team is like an egocentric, character, like, we know everything, even PMO, like we do a Scrum or something. So here in this case is how you can build a relationship step by step. And maybe you don't share like best practices for project management, like maybe they need, but in the sense of more, what are you doing? Like we will like to share our project portfolio from the rest of the company to see if there is alignment, where you can innovate better, which kind of project are, after this, like this is the keep system running and you are doing future. So if there is an alignment there or it's too far away or whatever, this kind of soft conversations can help. There is Jennifer saying it's a new process and there is a new office with new activities like innovation, among others. And on the other hand, there is an office responsible for project portfolio of the company, like inversion project. Okay, so I don't know which kind of industry you are, Jennifer. Inversion projects could be like they invest only to get money in return of investment, and that's all. Like they don't care about what it is, or not related even maybe with the industry or the company. Or could be like they are doing corporate venturing. And corporate venturing is when, as a company, you invest in other companies more innovative to ensure like it's like some kind of future, and you ensure like you are an owner of these disruptors in the market, like could be competitors in the future. It's more strategic inversion. So you have to check what is going on there. In this last case, it will be super cool if you can say, okay, in which companies they are investing, to see if there is a relationship with your product owner or products. There is okay, maybe this could be a competitor for us in the future. Maybe yes, no, which kind of functionality they have, by the way, like this kind of curiosity will be super nice to have, as well to match, to help the executives to go and oversee the whole portfolio of projects, plus the companies they are investing in. If there is a relationship or there is like craziness there. So Matthew said, like, and this is super interesting, innovation and PMO can actually conflict. And why? Because Matthew, I think it's very clear in this, PMO is like governments, like way of working, share all the information from this project so we have an overview of the progress. And usually then innovation is doing more experiments, not prototypes, like Happy Flower. So yes and no. Because you can do Happy Flowers, but you have to report what Happy Flowers you are doing. If they don't want to report exactly in the way a classical project with milestones, like they have a little bit more of freedom, still they have to say, we are doing this. And our KPIs are this, and we have to select or have 5 prototypes for this year, and we have to select 2 prototypes for implementation. So at least they have something they have to report because they have KPIs. And if they have no KPIs, that's the first thing they have to do, put KPIs, But this is how you can keep the balance of, okay, you are doing experimentation, which is very good, but we have to still have an overview of what you are doing and your progress. And plus, if they are doing collaboration with universities, other organizations, or startups, there they have a very nice project plan with milestones. So here as well, you can ask how, it's very so funny sometimes when I was working in a huge organization, even the innovation team or the whole organization, they have no ideas how many projects they were in collaboration with other organizations, how many contracts we have with other universities, because every department was doing their own thing. So I think the PMO can bring a lot of light here. So Marta is saying no formal relation, but some of us are attempting to create common communities with member and boss team. Very good. Yeah, this is the way to go, but as well, not only high level members, because could be like, we are like here together. Only the board members, like has to go more deep. And the first point is, yes, you know each other, you are sharing experiences, all the information and the knowledge, you break silos. This very important point, break silos from the beginning. And then how you are doing is depending on the culture of your organization. If your culture is super into the boards and members and so on, go for it, but don't forget the rest of people. Sorry, I have to. Okay, so this is, this is the reality. So why we are doing this webinar with Leo is to change this mindset, to say, hey, it is like this, but can change and has to change. And this is how maybe together you can have an open and honest conversation with a coffee, which is nicer, and say how, the leadership part is coming. So then is this how, okay, we have to make it work somehow. So, and you can make a plan together. So here is the crossroads, all this relationship and how you can, very clear, how you can exchange information to make your work better. So here is the PMO has customer feedback. Super important for innovation team. So this is, if you have employee feedback, in the case of product and ownership, and product management, you have sales feedback, direct feedback for customers, you have customer feedback, you have as well what is working and what is not working. When you manage you have relationship with the consultants, with everyone. So this feedback is like highly important gold for the innovation team. So here is when you can work together. When you say, okay, here we can work together. I have this feedback. User-centered innovation. After you have these needs for innovation, like the PMO, they say, okay, I have these needs. We can innovate in this area. And the innovation team, they are doing their own scouting and future strategy, future foresight, and they are looking as well if they are doing a good job. They are looking at all the processes and how they can improve the processes and how they can innovate and use creativity to do things in a different way. So here is when all these ideas they can share with PMO, and you have not to be super inquisitive, this is not working. I say, okay, we tried this, it's not working. Okay, but you try it and it's not working. You try it, you experiment as well. And as well, the strategy has to link to your product strategy in this case. And the future, you have to know the future. And sometimes in product ownership, you know already about the future. And I think another question from Leo before, it was like, if you have not an innovation team, well, someone is doing this role of innovation or thinking about the future. So if it's a very small company, it's the owner of the company. If it's a middle-sized company, it's the owner of the company. Or in some cases, marketing, I don't know. Or product ownership is thinking about the future. So this is the product owner who has to get as well these innovation techniques the innovation team is doing, or if there is not, how the innovation teams are doing and how you can apply already to your project management, product ownership, and product management. Okay, knowing everything here, like until now, what can you do tomorrow at work to change the situation? And here is like, you have to be super, super honest. Like what you can do tomorrow based on your situation. For instance, Leo, if you are doing consulting in PMO, can you consult or help or support the PMO office to contact the innovation team, or how they can innovate if they have not innovation team?
No, not really. They don't have an innovation team. Even it's a pharmaceutical company right now, my current customer. The innovation is in the medical, in the medical business unit.
Yeah.
Pharmacy. So it's not really about the projects. It even should be together, or
you have to know if they are doing something. You have to track the projects in innovation.
This is the point. The innovation area for medical, for medicines, in the medical business unit, there is not exactly project management. I don't know how
it's
they
R&D,
manage
no?
that.
In pharma, they have, I think in Barcelona, like you're in Barcelona, they have one of my when I was working in Barcelona, now one of this person is working in pharma, doing user-centered innovation, for instance. So super interesting. So, but this is very, very, very specific case. Usually they have a lot of R&D in pharma.
Well, interesting. Later we will.
You can check.
Discuss,
do you have R&D?
No, not really, because the global PMO, the global IT PMO, this like I cannot mention the name, but it's one of the biggest around the world. So, but the global IT PMO is like police department. They are checking everything is under control, more than innovation or a new ideas in a new way of working. No, it's more than frameworks. It's more than a method. It's more than a methodology. It's more than this. Far away. the PMO role, like as entity, as a team. And right here, because the PMO is, I think it's just three persons. So how can we mention a PMO with three members? This is not a PMO. This is the first stopper, or the first, wrong concept, or the first misunderstood about what it means, a PMO. This is the first one. So what can I explain about this? If we want to talk about innovation, to check, whoa, this is science fiction. But
this is a step by step.
No,
like,
this is...
even if the PMO, like at the end is everyone can say whatever of everything. But like this police, we will take later in the leadership part. I don't know if it's the next slide. This is the part of how to create organization without silos. Like they trust PMO as a supporter instead of like this kind of police. Like, I remember myself, like we had this for the reporting of the sustainable reporting, annual report you have to publish officially. And then for this, you have to collect a lot of data about the projects. And it's not a PowerPoint project data, you have to fill a lot of nice data.
We presenting like PPT consulting services and XLC reporting consulting services, Excel and PowerPoint. That's why we are reporting in a PMO, just for our audience, in a real PMO. It doesn't matter which kind of companies, we should use a PPM software or a concept of PPM, not portfolio program management software. You can create it, you can design it for your own needs, or you can buy it. You go to the market. But before to implement this kind of software, you need to do a project itself, not analysis, which is the best of the market, which is the needs of the company. What can we, the needs, we should involve for all the stakeholders, the stakeholders management, the stakeholder expectations, what kind of portfolio or program projects and products do we have in the company. There's a lot of questions that we need to do before to go on the market, or before to run into the company for a PPM. But this exercise, or this project itself, almost nobody do that. So what can we expect that if we talking about PMO and innovation? This is water and oil.
Well, no, I mean, like, I was very friends of the PM office.
No.
But this is the point, because they were creating the PM office, and they were like trying to get the overview of all the projects. And I said, you have to have my overview as well, like. And I think it was very proactive, but because, if you try to, as an innovation responsible manager, whatever, director, you have to be proactively as well to reach PMO and say, track my projects. Here is my list. What is missing? And how, we can collaborate here. If it's not the case, go and say proactively, like, we would like to have your innovation project here, because I think you are super important, like, make this kind of ego thing, like, you are very important and we have to track them, because we are making all visibility to executive. And sometimes the innovation teams, they have not the visibility to executive. So that's very important. In this case, you can bring them there in a very easy way. But I think Marta here in the comments has a super cool thing. So if you can open your microphone and put this question for everyone yourself, and explain why you are asking this.
Yes, only on the last mention. Oil and water always can be friends if you are cooking spaghetti. So, and by the other hand, no, really, no. And by the other hand, when you are tracking a portfolio, For top management, no, okay, steering committee, they don't need to ask no one, because in a real innovation PMO together, working together, everyone can use a cellular phone, a mobile phone, and they can check it anytime, any place, which is the tracking for all the portfolio, and how much is an investing, how much is expenditures, and which is the current status for each one, or the global, or each one, or by products, by products. I really do that in a bank in right here in Catalonia, and everybody's watching around the office, watching to the sky, hoping the answer from the angels. Imagine that.
Yeah. So Marta, do you want to talk? Now we continue, because I think this question could be, okay. Continue later. So, okay, so we were talking about the needs somewhere, like innovation team, they have to discuss about the needs for innovation for the organization. So here there is a canvas I created to discover needs and how you can be innovative and be ready for the future if you ask questions in a completely different way. And this could be like, I present this canvas because this canvas could be your common ground. Like you need to do as well this in product management, product ownership, and as well innovation team. So here is like, why not to do this together, or how, go out as a PMO out of your comfort zone. At the same time, innovation team is open up to have this kind of open innovation collaboration with other departments in the company. So here the needs canvas, I put it in 3 parts. So one is think, discover, and get inspiration. So the thinking is really deep thinking, like you stop and think, okay, here. So what is killing your organization now? Or in case of product owner, what is killing your product now? There is some kind of thing is not working, or in the future you have a competitor doing something. So what is killing your product services process now? And as well, if you have the chance to redo your product now with all the knowledge and information you have now, how you will do it again. And the same thing is when, as an organization, you have a product and you have a revenue stream from this product. You can think how I can get new different revenue streams with the same product. And this is the way, when you are asking to you these questions, this is super powerful to think in a completely different way of you are thinking now. And this is how all these new ideas are coming. This is how you can bring this innovation. So in the discover part is when you are doing this kind of analysis. Okay, how I can improve this? And this is the thing you are doing as a product owner. So where I can look, for feedback for customers, service tickets, IT tickets, problem challenges we have, how instead to solve this or to answer these questions in a normal, traditional way, why not you are using much more creativity to answer this? And as well, when you are listening to customers, partners, employees, this small talk sometimes is giving you a lot of information for innovation. And then the inspiration, if you are subscribed to another newsletter from other industries, you can always say, as a product owner, you take care as well of marketing sometimes, or product management, you have to take care as well how you communicate with others. So if you get a fashion company sending you some newsletter and you find this super interesting how they are doing the marketing or how they communicate, you can and very nice way, very easy to innovate is okay, how I can do this in my organization. or in my service or in the way I am working, how I can apply this now to myself, or how I can translate it. And this is a very easy as well way to do things in a completely different way, you know, and get this kind of, they say pollinization, you know. And as well here you have other questions. And after all, with all these answers, is how you can, I have a need here to innovate, you know. I have a need here to improve what I am doing or all the services or processes we are doing. And this is super cool, that really the innovation is coming from needs, because it's where you have the need, you know. You have not to get in imagination from science fiction. This is not innovation, you know, and this is not transformation. You are not really doing transformation. With these answers and these questions, you are doing really transformation. So we are going to leadership, because it's like how to break silos and bring these people together. So leadership, and I like this from Kevin Cruz. Leadership is a process of social influence, which maximizes the efforts of others towards achievement of a goal. So I like always to talk about, we are here together to make something better. And this is the part of leadership. If you bring people together and you have this mindset of, we are here together doing something together, as an organization, we have a goal. And it's not only you and me, it's like, we have to have, it's not fun, but we have to understand each other. We have to have this flow of working. And this is what is leadership. If you have the leadership there, everything is in a flow. If the leadership is not there, everything is super negative and everything in silos, you know, like it's something, when it's there, a very good leadership, you don't see it because it's there. But when it's not, you are feeling it. And one thing I define as an innovation leadership, because it's very specific as well, it's like you are a CEO without having the power of the CEO. What does it mean? It means like, as an innovation, you have to know what is happening, all the strategy of the company, the mission, the PMO projects. You have to know what are doing in every department, because you have to know the status quo to be able to innovate. You have to work with everyone, and everyone is dotted line. It's not direct line. So you have zero influence in the performance, but you have to influence them to work with you. And this is the part, like, you have to know every strategy. You have to know what is happening in the market. You have to know how the company is heading to the future, but you have not the power of the CEO. And this is how this struggling of the innovation team can have it, and as well the levels of leadership they need to make it happen. So, and here is when we have this point of leadership, and Leo was mentioning this kind of police department, like, is this kind of spy and go, you know, you spy what is happening and you go and choose, you know, like, I don't see you again. And this is like, write down the progress on Jira, or in other Trello, whatever tool you are using, Monday, whatever, there are thousands of them now. And you go and like, how I can help you? We are making this together. What do you need? You know, and this is true for the innovation team, and this is true for the PMO. And even if you think, but PMO, we are only tracking projects and that's all. Like, well, no, sometimes, you know, like, you have an overview of what is happening in the company. You know, everyone wants to know this. And you have this information. So in the way, like, you are helping because you are sharing this knowledge, and you have the power to oversee, and you have the power to explain what others are doing, because this information is relevant for everyone. And this part is very powerful to say, hey, we are one, you know, we are one. And this guy is doing similar things to you. So talk to you. And this is how, talk to them. So this is how you can support. So think in a completely different way, how as a PMO, you can bring value and support and help everyone. And this is like, boom, you know, change the mindset completely. So question for you. What type of leadership are you applying now at PMO? Leo said before already, for him it's like police department. Supportive, very good, Matthew. Yeah. Yeah, and I think now with this needs canvas, like you can go beyond, you know, you have here these tools now for asking questions to support much better and to create, you know, to spread the innovative thinking and mindset everywhere. So this is an introduction. This is the last concept we are touching here, because for leadership, it's very important, you know, like Kruse in the definition of leadership, he was mentioning influence, social influence. Social influence is coming from emotional intelligence and social intelligence of how to break silos and bring people together. The secret behind is all emotional intelligence skills. This is a skill, so which means everyone can learn. That is not based on personality or culture or whatever. And this is the basics. I will explain here super basics only. The question always is like, what is your mood now? How are you feeling now? And then the answer is here in this quadrant, which is the mood meter from Yale University. And it's super easy. Here is super the basic. You have the happiness, yellow, anger is red, sadness, blue, green, content. And here you have the levels of energy and the levels of pleasantness. So for instance now, so I am in Amsterdam. It's like, I think now 9, I am a bit tired. So energy, still with doing the workshop, I am keeping the adrenaline, but still I am a bit tired from the day. So energy levels a bit low. And then, okay, I'm super excited. I am a bit nervous because always I am doing workshops, I am a bit nervous. I'm happy. Yeah, content, happy. Yeah, I think maybe -1 + 1 or something around -2 + 2 something. So this is my mood, and this is how you can explain. Sometimes you have a mix of things, you know, depending on how you have the day. And this is the emotional intelligence is how you assess yourself very honestly. And then how you can see the emotions of others. So how the others are feeling, what is the mood of others. Emotional intelligence as well is the part to understand the emotions. Why now I am content with a bit of nervous, a bit of tired? Because it's 9 p.m. I am doing a workshop, you know, like this is to understand why I am feeling what I am feeling. And then the other is to change. For instance, if I got angry before the workshop or something, how I can calm down before I start a workshop, because I cannot do the workshop with I am angry, you know. And this is how you manage your emotions and how you can do this with your team. In case, for instance, of, you know, in the PMO, before you were saying something like, there is conflict here because PMO is very governance structure and And innovation team is super happy flower, very experiment, proof of concept. So here the emotions are happening. It's like PMO is like follow the rules, it could be in the blue, like error checking, like everything perfect, you have done this, and innovation team is in the happy flower, in the happiness, like ideation, perfect, everything. We don't care if it's not working, like we don't track anything. So how you can go together is going to the green together, making the innovation team down to earth, like ready to make business, because in the yellow is brainstorming, it's not business. And you as an error checker, like you can go to the green, to the content, to make business, because if you are all the time error checking, you are not making business. So everything, work, performance, everything is in the green side. So translate everything to the green, and it's when you can work together perfectly. So now we can check, I don't know where in the planet you are, but how are you feeling? So Leo already said feeling contentlessness. Okay, so how are you feeling now to make this exercise? Matthew, Alfonso, Jennifer, Marta, Victor, Karen. Hi. Happiness, cool, Jennifer. Content, very good. So at the end, there is no wrong answer, like how you feel is okay, what you are feeling, like. Okay, content, very nice. So you are getting all the information, processing. So here is what I am explaining about what is emotional intelligence. It's a skills, and you have here more colors because you have like 300 words and vocabulary for emotions. And this is how you can express yourself, with all these colors and words, vocabulary. And this is how you can do, the basics of emotional intelligence is perceive emotions of you and yourself and others, understanding the emotions, why this is, managing emotions, and using emotions. Using emotions is when, for instance, you are, which kind of emotions you need for every type of activity. For instance, if you are doing brainstorming, you have to go to the happiness. So you have to change the mood of yourself and others into the happiness to be able to have super ideas without any kind of care of if it's implementable or whatever. In a time of crisis, for instance, like servers are down, like you have to make your team into the angry, into the disappointment, into the anger, like, hey, shit, feeling this, and then helping them to channel this energy for error checking, for the sadness part, like have to be what is happening, what is the problem, to find and be super open to find the problem of the server down. And then if they have to look for a solution, moving them into the yellow, for instance. And here you can see here, I put a very basic definition of how you can use emotions. Like anger is good if this frustration is good to create, I want to solve this problem. I want to solve this problem. So you channel this energy of anger to make a solution for the problem. So happiness is in business, is very important for brainstorming, but it's not no business. You cannot make decisions here. You cannot work here. So in the sadness is more error checking, like what is happening, how we can, like this kind of disappointment, frustration, like you don't trust, like this is always like to find testing, for instance, is very good in sadness. And then into business in the part of content. There you are making business. Here is when you run, you can make decisions, you can work, you can perform. So my question for you now, and this was a very basic about emotional intelligence. How are you doing with now your emotional intelligence skills? So how did you assess? Do you can perceive the emotions of others? Do you know when you are, which kind of emotions you are having at any moment in time? Emotions are super good for performance, by the way. If you want someone giving you all the data from the project management, they have to be in the content, they have to be super motivated, and there are always tricks to make this. So it's a very good skill to manage as a PMO. Maybe, Leo, we can do another one is PMO and emotional intelligence, and we go emotion by emotion. Yeah, that's, I don't have this idea now.
No, this is an innovation, no? The innovation innovation is in the management as well.
Ah,
no?
Yeah, for sure. I think
Not
I
only
have this
producers.
book. Yeah, let me see here.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If there are now people they want to have this more knowledge about emotional intelligence, maybe for PMO, there is, well, we are working with him, with David Caruso. There is this book about the emotional intelligence manager from Yale. This is a very technical book, coming from university, but it's the basics. And he has as well a very nice, very small book about guidelines for leadership with emotional intelligence. So it could be very good for PMOs. And then in Harvard, they created these small books, very easy to read, coming from articles from Harvard Business Review. Very easy, super easy, fast, super quick to read about emotional intelligence, and they have different books per topic. So, like there are difficult people, in organizations. Here you have one, how to deal with difficult people using emotional intelligence.
Very interesting. Just taking count that in a PMO you are dealing with just for a number, very quickly, very quickly, with 50 persons, not at the same time, because everyone are stakeholders among
the whole company,
their suppliers, the PMO team, but the usual is when you have any kind of relationship with more than 100 people, more than any other area. So they can come.
Innovation as well. Innovation. If you are doing a good job.
Of course, including they are doing the best job, obviously. But my point is, many other areas, except in IT, the technology information area, there is no any other area in any organization, in any industry. It doesn't matter government or private or government or public. Sorry, that a PMO have more relationship than a PMO. More than PMO, totally. There is no. There is no. So
here imagine. As well, important focus, and emotional intelligence focus is different from a classical focus. That could be as well cool to read. I have the others, but I think this is from PMO. These two could be super interesting. So we continue. So I think no one has idea.
We have 5 minutes, my dear. Yes, we can. So go ahead.
So I think, like we said during the whole webinar, we want to work together to make the product better. And this is Amy Edmondson from Harvard who said this, and why the story was like the team and the organization has to be psychological safety, like to speak up and to generate trust, you know, and to create this kind of relationship, social intelligence. But she didn't mention like to create psychological safety, you know, to do this, like want to work together to make the product better. Emotional intelligence is the tool to make it happen. How do you create psychological safety? With emotional intelligence. So I think here, let me check how many slides do we have. Yeah, 2. Very good. So I put this emotion only 1 because it's one of the critical emotions for PMO, like motivate people to give you all the information you need as a tracking for your project. So performance and motivation are linked to self-esteem and self-confidence. What does it mean? It means like self-esteem is like you value yourself or others values you or you value others. So if motivation is linked to self-esteem, which means, and this is mathematics, if you value the people, they will be motivated. And this is mathematics, and you can try it tomorrow. So if someone is not motivated, what you have to do? Listen to them, value the work they are doing, you know, support them. How, what are you doing? Yeah. How you're doing it? Wonderful. But very authentic and honestly, you know, like, and then they are motivated. So try tomorrow. So leadership with emotional intelligence. What exactly means this? Manage team expectations, clear goals and objectives, support people with vision and mission. So it has to be super clear what are you doing here. Build relationship outside task and classical meetings. And this is relationship is not equal friendship, completely different. Relationship is relationship. So you have to build a relationship. Talk about what are you doing, why you're doing this, how are you doing, you know, before asking, give me this now, you know, like, we're doing this, you know, we're improving this process. The other person is doing this, and we're doing this because ta, 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 ta. So here is when you build relationship and you create trust. So manage healthy and toxic conflict. This is the part of this. And how to manage conflict is another story. But the point, very important point, is like, are you ready to handle the conflict now? You know, or it's super urgent to solve now the conflict, or you can do it later when you are ready to talk. Because sometimes when you get an email like, oh shit, and you have to say, fuck. So maybe it's better to step down, breathe, and answer tomorrow, or 2 hours or 3 hours later when you are calm. And if the other person or 2 people has conflict, it's very important to understand the context of the conflict, why this is happening, you know, managing why this is happening, understand each other. The people have to be calm when they are talking, to understand each other, to learn, and to look for solutions together. So, and always take time to breathe and relax, because it's when you get energy back to deal with everything. And then you can, if you are working from home now, you know, everyone, so listen to podcasts, you know, not to feel so alone, or do work outside, like listen to music, whatever is working for you, but something like is keeping you as well this social active. So how you change from a spy and go, you know, police, to support is with the leadership together with emotional intelligence skills. And this is the book, and it's coming in 6 weeks. So it's in pre-order in my website. And it's innovation and collaboration in the digital era, and how the role of emotional intelligence is working for innovation leadership and collaborative innovation. So questions, if you have questions, and this is the last slide.
Before to continue, thank you very much for sharing, Hara, as usual, as always, very, very, very interesting. No, it's make us think, is make us to reflect, not a reflection about what are we doing right now, what can we do in the near future. No, yeah, please by the chat, share on the URL from your website, from your book. Congratulations for your book. It is very difficult to write. It's it's very complicated to put ideas in the head into a words and sharing with people, no, for trying to share our thoughts, our way of mind, and putting in paper, and later with a structure in a book. And everything is behind a very hard job, because you need everybody who has wrote a book sometimes know about this, because we need time. We need to be relaxed, concentration. So congratulations, awesome job. Congratulations for your book. I hope in the near future, if we can meet each other, no, in the near future, you can sign me. Yeah, because I'm going to buy to your book. You can sign me. Okay.
Yeah. So I think I am going to Barcelona in the summer.
We'll
visit the
be here.
family and yeah, work from there, I think.
Okay, hoping to see you right here in person. No, obviously,
Yes.
will be wonderful. Hara, if people wants to connect to you, wants to follow to you, where we can find you?
So as a company, we are in LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram.
Okay. Do you have a slide with your social media networks?
Let me check if I added. No.
No, wonderful.
Not here. No, this is yours. I have no.
Okay, well, you can share
Let
by
me...
chat your linking, your whatever you want by chat. Okay, no issues.
Let me check if I can share another slide I have somewhere with all this.
Yes. Any other question before to leave? Well, let's give many concepts we were developing into this session. So, but if anybody else have any other question, please feel free to ask by chat or open. Okay, wonderful. Hey, wonderful. Okay. Platform.co executive. You have so many. So you have a lot of to find you. A lot of platforms. Okie dokie. Wonderful. Instagram. I'm going to follow Instagram. I didn't know that you have one. I want to do right now. Yeah,
and I am sharing every day 15 seconds in Reels tips about innovation.
Twitter. Okay, we are going to follow into you, and we already following you by linking. So
and we have podcasts and magazines, and in this we have a Telegram channel that you can get the news. Is t.me/collabwith, and is when you will receive the podcast and videos, Q&A videos, and yeah,
a lot of resources, no?
Yeah, exactly. Everything about innovation, like stories, and I think this is the fun part. Like we can always learn from each other how we are working.
Okie dokie, yes. Now I'm following you by Instagram. Okie dokie, here we are. So thank you very much, all our audience that is joining us today. If our audience want to appear in the photo, we usually take the photo, okay, before to leave. Please, if everybody can open the videos, will be great. If you wish, obviously, no. Okie dokie. Hara, again, thank you very much. Wonderful session, as usual. And yeah, and stay in touch, because we are going to keep doing. Gracias, Robinson. Thank you, Robinson. We are going to continue sharing contents, resources, about everything, about PMO, about innovation, but about many other things that is very important for our global community, not only global, not only PMOfficers global community, it's about the global community, because the knowledge is free and we should share between all of us. This is intelligence collaboration, ¿no? ¿No? Intelligent, ¿cómo es? Intelligent collaborate, yeah, this isn't it? Several concept, no? No? Intelligence collaboration. This is one, yeah.
Emotional intelligence for collaboration, or innovation and collaboration in digital?
No, all together. Okay, thank you very much. Greetings from Barcelona, Spain. Matthew, thank you much for your participation. This is the first time that we see you in PMOfficers webinar series. Hoping to see you in the next time in the near future. We are presenting in both Spanish and English because the knowledge, there is no language in knowledge. So we are trying to share in both for everyone around the world. Ara, see you next time. Have a good day. Thank you very much. Our best wishes.
You can do Spanish, Matthew. Gracias.
See you in the next time, Matthew, in the coming for Spanish as well, ¿no? Te vemos pronto. Greetings. Abrazo fuerte, Jara. Muchas gracias.
Abrazo. Have a nice week. Bye. Enjoy. Bye.
Be safe. Take care. Chao, chao.